Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Appreciate that. Mr. Frost, you're recognized for up to 5 minutes.
Chairman Mulvaney, Ranking Member Chu, and members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to testify today on the 3% withholding mandate, and particularly its impact on small firms that contract with federal, state, and local entities of government. My name is Ian Frost, and I'm the president of EE Consulting. We're a small engineering firm based in Richmond, Virginia. I'm here to ask for your assistance in repealing the 3% withholding rule. As you know, in 2006, Congress included a provision in the conference report for the Tax Increase Prevention and Reconciliation Act that requires federal, state, and local governments that spend more than $100 million a year on goods and services to withhold 3% from payments to engineering firms and other contractors. I'm also a member of the American Council of Engineering Companies, ACEC, the voice of America's engineering industry. ACEC firms number more than 5,000, over 70% of which are small firms. Most have government clients, and like EE Consulting, would be negatively affected by the 3% withholding mandate. EE Consulting has been in business since 1998 and has grown to a 36-person firm with revenues of about $4.3 million last year. About 95% of our work is for local, state, and federal agencies. During one of the most difficult economic periods that we've lived through, we've experienced steady growth. Since the recession started, we've actually added 13 new employees, 5 of whom were unemployed. We also signed an agreement to build a new office just as the recession hit. Despite a lot of trepidation over the economic forecasts, we stayed the course on the new building and moved in during the spring of 2010. Our success could not have occurred without an unencumbered cash flow. We've relied upon the personal finances of our owners and the company's cash reserves to buy new equipment, to pay the salaries of new employees until we get paid by our clients, and to pay for expansion of the company, including the new construction. To a small business, cash flow is everything. I'm immensely proud of our past record, yet concerned about the future, because the pending 3% withholding rule would negatively affect our cash flow and our potential to grow and add new jobs. If enacted right now, the rule would mean the withholding of approximately $130,000 of our projected 2011 revenue. Worse still, it might require our company to secure a loan to help us cover operating expenses at a time when cash in the bank is limited. The withholding could limit our ability to make payroll each month, our ability to expand our business, and hire new employees. A $130,000 withholding each year would deplete our cash reserves by about 30%. Our situation is not unique. Our trade association, ACEC, has raised serious concerns over how this mandate will impact engineering firms, including thousands of small firms like mine that work for government. Many engineering companies realize a profit margin of just about 3 to 5% on a contract, and withholding 3% up front for tax purposes will force them to divert funds needed to complete the contract, thereby creating cash flow problems. 3% withholding will also burden small firms with additional administrative and record-keeping costs. Firms like mine will have to modify the accounting systems in order to keep track of the withholding and ensure that it matches with their tax records and tax refunds. I frequently hear in the news that small businesses are the economic engine for the country and are likely to be the main source of job creation that is needed to reduce our unemployment rate. Why then would the federal government want to handcuff that economic engine by withholding a percentage of our contracts, hurting our cash flow, and limiting our ability to add new jobs? I know that the withholding rule is intended to help with tax collections, but it seems unreasonable to punish everyone involved in government contracting due to the actions of just a few. The only solution to this problem is to repeal the 3% withholding mandate and replace it with measures that target firms and individuals that are not in compliance with the tax laws. I've attached to my testimony a list compiled by the Government Withholding Relief Coalition of tax compliance measures that have been enacted since the 3% withholding provision was passed in 2006. For example, in 2008, the Federal Acquisition Regulation was amended to require potential federal contractors to certify that they're in compliance with the federal tax obligations. This provision makes noncompliance with the tax code grounds for suspension and debarment from government contracts. Measures such as this focus on the problem instead of impacting firms that pay their taxes. As an owner of a small business, I ask you to help give us relief from the unfair withholding rule. Please find alternatives that ensures that the government receives its share of our revenue without damaging our ability to operate, add new jobs, and meet our payroll. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in today's hearing, and I would be happy to respond to any questions.